Hello everybody, hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day. Z here, coming to you with a Division Heartland video. Now, I love survival games. It's one of my favorite genres of games, and the Division is finally expanding on what I consider to be one of the best pieces of Division content ever, and actually some of the best content in gaming ever, in my opinion. I think survival mode in the Division was absolutely fantastic, and with the leaks that came out about Division Heartland, it looks like they are expanding on this like greatly. So without further ado, we're going to cover some leaks about Division Heartland. Now, some leaks came out a couple days ago, and Ubisoft has been doing a pretty good job of taking them down from YouTube and the original source. But in short, what happened was a 20-minute gameplay video of Division Heartland was leaked, and people were like expanding on it, watching on it, and one of the lead game developers, or the game play lead, I think is what it was, giving some commentary of what this game mode is, and that's what I'll be covering over shortly. Before I go over Division Heartland in too much detail, I'm going to go over what Division Survival Mode was, because I think what Heartland is an expansion of this game mode. So Division Survival Mode was the second expansion that came to the original Division when it came out in 2015. So what it is a PvE or PvE mode that you can have an environment that is strictly PvE and strictly PvP, however, or PvE VP, and the end goal was the same. Your goal was to get the formula for this virus filter and then craft it and then extract from survival mode. You started out the same every single match with no gear, and you had to go around the map salvaging materials in order to craft clothing to stay warm, look for food and water, and have medicine in order to stave off the virus that you spawned in with every single time. Every single match started the same. The only difference was there was a PvE environment and a PvP environment, where the PvP was also PvPvE, except you had the chance to kill other agents that were also trying to extract. That's basically the basis of it. That was the high-end goal, is to extract with this virus filter. Now, from what the leaks are told, I believe Heartland is very similar to this, except it's expanded on in great detail. They do say at some point this is the most aggressive virus that the Division franchise has ever seen, so it'd be interesting what that entails. However, I believe you have generally the same end goal. Now, I would like to say that I think that the Division Heartland is coming out because there was a lot of potential in this area, as the day before was announced a couple months ago. I think this is Division's response to, hey, this is our home, this is what we come through, and like this is what we can establish, so we're going to do it better than you. Now, that could just be interesting timing. However, it's nice to note that there is some competition in this genre, so I think Ubisoft is going to take this super seriously and expand on it in a great way. So now we're going to get into the leaks. So this is a survival type game, and it's not really a battle royale in a sense. I would like to compare it mostly to like a Tarkov type area, maybe a Fallout 76 kind of ish arena, where you have PvE and PvP at the same time, but the map isn't collapsing down. So keep that as your mind. It's like a combination BR survival game. So there's two modes to this. There's an expedition mode and there's a storm mode. Expedition mode is for prepping the world and preparing the world for the storm. This appears to be strictly PvE from what I'm getting in from the information that this leak put out, but that could be wrong. However, it appears to be PvE only. And you're prepping the world, you're doing the exact same thing you would in the storm mode. You're gathering materials, you're getting intel, you're getting prepared, you're finding your guns, your loot, or whatever, your salvage essentially, in order to prepare for yourself for when you go into the storm. The storm is a little bit different, as in it's a PvE VP environment with 45 other agents on a large survival map that's basically what I would like to describe as Tarkov or scavengers, kind of, and there will be areas on the map where there will be a storm, hence the type storm game mode. It's a little bit different than like the Fortnite storm that's collapse. It's just an indicator on the map that would be like red, for example, and as you go into it, you're going to get more and more contaminated as the entire area is contaminated, but different areas have more contamination, so you're going to need more virus filters in order to interact with these areas. That's kind of the gist of it. Your high-end goal, I'm assuming, is just like survival mode, is you're going to try to find a cure for this virus or a filter for this virus and then extract. And the extractions work just like they do in survival mode or in the Dark Zone if you're familiar with the Division. It should be noted that this is a Division game, so a lot of it still plays like the Division. Your extraction is like the Division survival mode. You have a flare gun, you shoot it up in the sky, it's like pshh, and then a helicopter is going to come to save you, but then there's going to be some enemies that come in, maybe 1 to 2 waves, we're not sure at this time, and you're going to have to stave them off in order to be able to extract with your gear, your loot, and whatever you extract, you'll be able to keep, just like in the Dark Zone. So, a little thing going off of the loot, there are different levels of loot. Survival mode works like this. It's just kind of like leveling up in the Division. It's kind of like a BR sense, as there's 5 levels of loot. I'm assuming it goes common all the way up to legendary, so you got your whites, greens, blues, purples, yellows, etc. And as you work through the entire game, you're going to upgrade from your green essentially all the way up to your yellow, hopefully, and then extract with that loot. So that's kind of the gist gameplay. You build yourself up to be powerful enough to extract, and then you extract with your loot. That's essentially what I'm getting from this. There are some exotics, just like the Division have, so it'll be interesting. You can find those throughout the area and you can be able to use that. You extract like the Division and the Dark Zone, yada yada yada. You go back to your base and you can have all of your loot. The interesting to note is that once you extracted, you can now use your loot and whatever you extracted with for your next time into the storm or your next time into the expedition. It's kind of like loadouts, where, and this is where I relate it to Tarkov, is you start every single raid with certain things you want to take in, and then you go into that raid or activity with the gear that you choose. It appears you can do that in Heartland, where I would say I extracted with this police M16. I can now go into my next expedition with that gear. If you need to, you can craft whatever clothing that you need or whatever materials you need and then go into your next expedition, and it allows you to progress even further. I don't know if it's like survival mode where it's like you get one overall objective in survival mode from Division and then when you extract that's it, or if like there's multi-staged activities or objectives where hey, you have 5 things you have to do in this storm activity. However, you can only get 1 step done in this one game. Like say it's kind of like a BR, say you only have 20 minutes or whatever. You only have 1 step. You have your opportunity to get this first step done. And then so the next time you go into the raid or the activity, you get the second step done. And then like compound off what you did in previous storms. Or if it's more like survival mode in Division where, hey, this is your one shot to do this. You got to find the activity or the virus filter, and then extract. We don't know exactly about that. However, I'm sure it'll be expanded on and when we find out more information in the future. I would assume, since this is a free-to-play title, that the monetization will be purely cosmetic. I am not positive. Ubisoft has not always been fair with that in the past and with other games like Assassin's Creed. But considering what this game is, I would expect the cosmetics or the monetization, once again, to be purely cosmetic. It's purely speculation at this point, however, so keep that in mind. And, just let me know what you think below. I'll probably be covering this game in the future. I'm very excited for it. I love survival mode. I think it's one of the best parts of gaming. So I will definitely be giving this a shot. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you liked the video, please make sure you like and subscribe because it helps me out a great deal. Same with other people's content. If you like other people's content, make sure you like and subscribe to their content as well, because I'm sure it means a lot to them as it means a lot to me. But without further ado, there's one last thing I would like you to do, and that is to have a great day.